You found me in the winter of my soul, in the stillness, the quiet and the cold. Then you breathe and I begin to grow. You found me in the winter of my soul. There's a beauty as we wait for what's to come. In December, when it's hard to find the sun, there's still a light that shows up with the dawn. There's a beauty as we wait for what's to come. In every season, let my roots get deeper. In every season, let my faith get stronger. Oh, I will surrender to the season maker. Oh, I will surrender. I won't fight the winter. There's a promise that spring is on the way, and when it comes, it will be worth the wait. But there's a mercy that's with me here today, and a promise that spring is on the way. In every season, let my roots get deeper. In every season, let my faith get stronger. I will surrender to the season maker. Oh, I will surrender. I won't fight the winter. Oh, I won't fight the winter. Nothing's ever wasted. There's purpose in the waiting. I'm just gonna stay here and let you do the changing. Nothing's ever wasted. There's purpose in the waiting. I'm just gonna stay here and let you do the changing. Nothing's ever wasted. There's purpose in the waiting. I'm just gonna stay here and let you do the changing. Nothing's ever wasted. There's purpose in the waiting. I'm just gonna stay here and let you do the changing. In every season, let my roots get deeper. In every season, let my faith get stronger. Oh, I will surrender to the season maker. Oh, I will surrender. And in every season, let my roots get deeper. In every season, let my faith get stronger. Oh, I will surrender to the season maker. Oh, I will surrender. I won't fight the winter.
Well, Jasmine and Nick, Aaron and Hank, good to see you guys. Man, this is awesome. Like connecting everyone together. You guys are in all different locations, but so thankful you guys took some time to talk to us today. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy.
Well, we've got So Jasmine, actually you're currently in Hawaii, which we're all jealous
Yes.
about right
Oh,
now.
yeah. Boo.
Sorry.
But normally California, and then Nick is in Birmingham, UK, not Alabama, right? We always need to point that out,
Yeah.
Nick. And then Aaron, you're in Austin, and Hank is down the road from me here, just south of
Yep.
Nashville. And so, man, so cool. And I'm thankful you guys jumped on to talk about this song because it's really special. You know, when you guys, and I'd love to hear you tell the story, but I know you guys wrote this back. We were just talking about it feels like years ago, but it was actually top of year 2020. And but it's such a special song. Gosh, when I listen to this song now and the lyric, I can't believe you guys wrote it before we ended up in quarantine and nobody knew that was
Seriously,
coming. And
Mhm.
so, but maybe start with you, Jasmine, a little bit.
Yeah.
Just incredible recording, by the way. Your vocal is
Thank you.
so good on this.
Stunning.
And but talk about the song a little bit and how you guys got together to write this.
Yeah. So the song's called Winter, and I was actually inspired by the drive to Hank's house to write it. And as I was driving there, I was just kind of talking to God about this next write. And I think it was the last write of the whole camp that we were at. And I'm like, Lord, like, what should we write about? Do you have any ideas? I was just kind of talking to him. And there are these trees, like it's like almost like a tree tunnel on the way to Hank's house, and they were all bare, right? And there's no leaves on it. And it reminded me of this podcast I listened to with Amanda Cook, and she was talking about winter seasons of the soul and uh, those harder seasons, and talking about how in winter, she read this book from Parker Palmer, and in winter it says it clears the landscape. So there's actually clarity in winter, more
Mhm.
clarity, and there isn't all the brush and the leaves getting in the way. It's actually clearing the landscape. And so I just started thinking about what she was talking about in that podcast. And one of the things she said that struck me was winter is a necessary season.
Mhm.
And it just got, I don't know, it just got me thinking. And I remember walking into Hank's studio and just kind of verbally processing this thought, and how a lot of us as people, especially me, I am so a victim to this, but especially me, it's people, we uh, want to escape the winter. We want to escape the cold, the dark, the hard, the lonely, the trial seasons of life. We want to get on a plane and come to Hawaii. Like we want to get out of there, you know? We're like, we're not doing the cold. We're not doing that. I got to get out of here. Um, and not really face it head on. And we were just talking about that. I'm like, but what we forget is that God is not just in the good seasons. God's not just in these summer, spring seasons where everyone's
Mhm.
full of life and running around and having a good time. Like God is also in the fall and winter seasons. And that what if we didn't write a song about, hanging on till the
Mm.
light comes? What if we wrote a song about being in winter
Mhm.
and being and staying in it and learning to walk with God in it and to see Him in every season and to see Him grow us in every season? And so anyway, that's what I think we wrote about. And
Wow.
what I remember talking to Hank about, and as we all kind of got into the studio together, it just was like it lit on fire. I just remember
Mhm.
all of us, like all of our brains started going like
Yeah.
whizzing, like, oh my gosh, we could write about this and this and this. So anyway.
Wow. And Nick, it felt like even that week, um, just what God was doing kind of in the moment was really preparing. I know you even shared some things with the group that week of God, kind of undoing things and kind of you know unraveling and taking us back to kind of the heart of why we're doing what we're doing, our relationship with Him. And
Mm,
man, like that whole week, it felt like this song is sort of a product of a bigger narrative. I think that felt
Mm.
like that God
mm,
was sort of doing in our midst. As we gathered, just to give people context, we had gathered a lot of writers together from different churches, and we were all together in just wonderful community. We were writing together, hanging out, making new friends. But then we also were hosting these, worship leaders and teams from like all over the country and different countries together that week, doing the same thing at the Worship Together conference. But there was more of this narrative of like, man, God is doing something new, something fresh. At the time, we had no idea any of this, but really felt like this song kind of came out of that overall narrative that week. Hank, talk a little bit about just the verses on this. Like, I was listening to this song over and over again this morning, and I love how you guys crafted this lyric. Just the first verse talking about, it's also when God found us, right? Like when we were there, the winter metaphor in this is our separation from God. Really beautiful. And then as the song progresses, each verse has a little bit of a different, kind of take on this theme, and the metaphor shifts a little bit. But talk about the verses a little bit on this song.
I think this whole Jasmine just came in with this amazing idea, and the whole song just felt like it just unfolded so naturally, and it wasn't pointed at anything. It was honestly, it felt like all of us just expressing a really personal. Everybody knows what it feels like to be in the winter, and I think this song felt like it accomplished what the goal of this little gathering was. It wasn't for this church or that church. Yeah. It was people from a bunch of different backgrounds coming together and expressing themselves. And I just feel like the verses feel as much personal as they feel corporate, and as much connected to Jasmine's story as they do Nick, and it's in a different continent, and me. And so I don't know, this song to me feels like a really beautiful just combination of everybody, really.
Yeah, amazing. Aaron, that one phrase in this chorus, I don't know who was responsible for this, but it's incredible. But I will surrender to the season maker, and when I heard that, it made me just kind of step back and have a minute just to think about that, especially on the tail end. Here we are at the tail end of 2020, and this season that we've all walked through together as people and as a church. But to recognize that God is the season maker. It's not just he's with us in this season, but he actually created this season for a purpose. And man, that kind of floored me.
Yeah. That's so helpful for like all of us to remember, because it is easy to want to get out of whatever season we're in when it's hard and think that God's not in it. But when you step back and you're like, oh, this actually, God, he thought it would be best for me to go through this winter. Like he thought it would be best for us to go through COVID-19 2020. It's just so helpful. Like it makes me trust God more. It makes me actually not want to run from it, but like Jasmine was talking about, like to actually embrace it. Like I want my roots to grow deeper right now through this season. And you, Jimmy, you mentioned like, I don't know who you said who, I don't know who actually wrote that lyric. I think that's one thing that's so powerful about this song is none of us really like, it wasn't one person. And I don't even remember if I even gave an idea for any lyric. It was just like God was in the room and it just flowed out. I remember that verse just like landing, like it just happened. And the chorus, and we're all singing it and we're all crying, thinking about our own stories and our own journey of walking through winter. It really is a beautiful song, and nobody can really take credit for it other than God just met us in that room and was very kind.
Yeah, then suddenly Jasmine started singing. We're all just kind of singing and writing, and it was pretty, like it was moving, but like understated and low key, because it was, just the content.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this big boisterous writing session. And then nobody was singing that loud, and then we started to record her demo vocal, and we were all looking around like, wait, he's like, got an incredible.
Seriously. I had never met Jasmine before that writing moment. Never met her. So walking in, complete stranger, and just incredible person, incredible story, and voice. Oh my gosh, you killed it. It's stunning. Yeah.
There's something about the way Hank just laid down that whatever that sound was on the keyboard.
Yes,
And it
totally.
and there's something about this, isn't there, where there's a sound that just reflects the heart of a song.
Yeah.
And the sound just came, and then I think it just wrote itself in many ways, because it felt like that's the right sound, and that's saying before we even said a word, that is saying winter. And it was kind of so easy to sit in that moment. And then we started reading, didn't we, about all sorts of different things, blogs, and you realize actually a lot of people feel winter and they experience the winter season. And we talk about this pandemic. Well, people, will experience winter after this season, and many have experienced before this season as well as in this season. So yeah, it was really special to be part of, and and to know that we wrote it before all of this kind of came into place. I still find myself sort of scratching my head thinking, God, you're amazing at the way this kind of stuff comes together.
Yeah, God is kind to us. He drops things in that he knows we're going to need at some point, and what great timing, Jasmine, for this recording too. Just, we're, as we talk today, we're, right into November, and, a lot of people that I've talked to, it's like, people are concerned about this winter, because, just we've all been inside, for 7 or 8 months already. And now we're headed into winter, which is more isolation, a lot of times. And, what a powerful thing to be able to release this song of hope, in advance of that, as people are headed into this season. It makes me really happy to know that, this song is going to be out there ministering to people as all of us transition and kind of navigate these next few months. So, but thank you guys so much for sharing, like, just wonderful thoughts. Like, it makes me miss all of us being together.
Me too.
And I miss the community so much, but I'm thankful that you guys took the time to talk to us about it. And again, Jasmine, great job on the recording. Hank, amazing production on this. So congratulations.
So beautiful.
So good.
Thanks.
Thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. Guys.
Bye-bye.
In every season, let my roots get deeper. In every season, let my faith get stronger.